What's happening, guys? Matt Sheriff here, and in this video I want to break down in simple terms America's debt and how they get into it and how this snowball effect keeps happening. And what I want to do is kind of correlate it to everyday life so it's very easy to understand. And there is some legitimate reasons why a country would get into debt. For example, in history, there's been a lot of wars, World War II, I'm from Britain. The country had to sustain a good amount of money influx in the form of debt to fund that war and protect itself, and things of that nature. And obviously the US have had similar things with what they've done in the past, or even like investments, for example, like say America buying certain pieces of land when they were forming as the United States, which some of those investments were very good. But in recent years, for a lot of countries, spending has become crazy just to try and keep up with the growth or the way of life that they're trying to sustain that isn't necessarily sustainable. So to break it down in simple terms, let's say that I'm just an average person and I take a credit card out. And with this, I want to spend a lot of money on whatever it is. So I'm swiping away and I max out that card. And I want to keep on spending. So I take another card out and I swipe, and I max out that one. And then I'm not really done, so I take another one out and I swipe that one. And then obviously I have all these bills coming in and these interest rates and different things that are piling up, but my spending habits are continuously growing. And then what happens is I end up with all these cards and it's crazy, and then I don't really know what to do with them because it's just a snowball effect. It just keeps going. I have all these payments every month that are coming onto my head, and I don't necessarily have the money or the income to pay those off. And that's exactly what's happening with America. And obviously their debt is in the trillions, and they don't have the growth or the income from the taxpayers to pay that money off. So the way that they're going, and it's not just America, different countries are in a lot of debt, but obviously America is the pinnacle. It's the biggest debt, and it's one of the biggest economies in the world. So a lot of people look to it, especially as the dollar is the world reserve currency, and people are looking at it and seeing what state it's in, and with the interest rates and with the inflation and the amount of money that's printed, it's pretty insane with the obligations that America has to pay this debt off. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down, as the spending habits of America don't seem to reflect what's actually going on in their economy, and they're up to their eyes in bills and interest rates, and they're borrowing money to even just pay off the interest rates of the loans and not even necessarily the loans. So it's absolutely crazy. So if you think about it just as like a single person, I think it's easier. So if it's just me and I'm getting all these cards out and all these loans, and I have all these reoccurring payments, but I don't have the income to pay them, that's exactly what happens. And if we look at it, the government, they release a financial report every single year. So in 2015, they lost just over, I think, $520 billion in 2015. And then in 2016, and I'll put the link below actually to this, to the actual report that the government brings out, a financial report, just like any business would, assets, liabilities, and where they're currently at. And in 2016, that doubled to just over 1 trillion. So that's 1 trillion of losses in 2016 as an economy, which is insane, because obviously you have the taxpayers' money in, you have the government have different methods of bringing money in, and then they allocate that out. but the spending is so crazy and it's taking so much that a loss of $1 trillion happened last year. And if that was a company, that would obviously go under straight away. But obviously a government's different and it plays by its own rules. But the continuous cycle of this can't logically keep happening. And who knows, maybe it'll last years, maybe it'll last decades, maybe it'll blow up tomorrow. The economy, who knows? But the reason I say this and the reason I make this content and I make these videos is because there is different avenues to protect yourself. And if you're a subscriber of mine, you know I'm a huge advocate of cryptocurrency and diversification. If you're wondering what the heck is that, there'll be some videos popping up at the end that you can check out and some free resources below that will educate you on this and kind of give you some more information on where this is all going. So I'm Matt Sheriff. I hope that video helped a little bit and give you a little bit of a clearer mind on what this actually is. Subscribe to the channel, check out some of the other videos and the resources, and I'll see you on the next one.